What up, everybody? It's Sanni here, and this video is gonna be about Baki and Goblin Slayer. But I'm gonna start off with Baki. So this episode is when Gaia appeared. Well, he appeared in the last episode, but he was like the last part, and it was like, here comes Gaia, and I knew. Well, I wasn't expecting that he was gonna like show up in this series, but I kind of figured since he was like Baki's trainer that he would pop up in some point in time, since all these characters want to feel defeat or some type of loss or whatever. So first it was Baki's brother that was in the ring with the Russian guy, and then the Russian guy was like, alright, I had enough of this. So then he called in Gaia, and then everybody was like booing him and all of this because they don't know who he is, because he has a baby face, but he's like very tough and whatsoever. So as he gets in there, nobody takes him serious until he just screams, and it pretty much rings all of their eardrums, and like now they can't hear anything for a while. But as it moves on to the episode, he was lifting up sand and just throwing it at the Russian guy, and there was a bunch of teeth and stuff in there because previous fights, and they don't really like clean the sand, whatever. And it was said it was like a shotgun shells that was hitting him and whatnot. But I'm thinking like, man, he can't do nothing. Like this whole time, like the Russian guy has been like beating people, killing people and whatnot. And as soon as Gaia comes in, he's just like helpless. And then Gaia even said like every 11 seconds, I'm gonna hit you. And then the guy was just counting, and every time that 11-second hit, it was like bam, another hit. And then he was like, because Gaia told him, I'm gonna let you know the true meaning of fear. And I guess he did, because at the end he was like, I lose, I don't want to take it anymore. And I'm like, wow, that's all it took was one person to where you couldn't fight back at all. And I'm thinking like all the previous people he fought, like he fought Baki, and Baki couldn't do that because I don't know, he was on something else when he fought Baki. But I mean, this is more like everybody else showcasing their talents, as opposed to how it's just Baki, Baki, Baki. So I guess it's a good thing, because if it was him, I don't really know where Baki's going right now. He's just traveling around with his girl now. But then that was good. But then as it got to like the middle, it was showing Yanagi, and he was fighting. I think his name was Mitobe, I believe, and he was like Jujutsu of Swords or something like that. And he cut off Yanagi's hand, his poison vacuum hand or whatever you want to call it. And then, like towards the end of it, Baki's dad was there, like right behind him, and then Mitobe tried to attack him, and obviously didn't work. He just bent the sword or whatever, and then he went to Yanagi and saw like, you lose, because there's nothing he can do against him. Like he is the strongest of the strongest. So I mean, you trying to beat Baki's dad is, it's pretty much impossible in the anime, because he is deemed the strongest guy in the anime, and that's who Baki has to defeat, which I still think is like weird. Like if he's the strongest and you gotta defeat him, then you're gonna become the strongest, and you're gonna become a target for everybody. And I don't think he really wants that, because right now he just wants to be with his girlfriend and whatnot. But I mean, the way the series is going, I don't think he's not gonna reach up to his dad's level no time soon, because I don't know like how many episodes it's gonna be. It's probably gonna be like maybe 20 something ish episodes, because it's pretty up there. But I don't know like what licensing Netflix has with them and whatnot, so we'll see how that rolls out. But then as for Goblin Slayer, okay, so the last episode he got pretty much beat up because the priestess, she lost her control when he got hit, and everybody was pretty much getting beat up because of her. And something like some flame lit in him, and he took out the whatever that work or whatever it was, and pretty much he passed out at the end of that episode. So then this episode shows up and he's in a bed with her and the great hero. And like they finally show what he looks like in the present, because they showed him in the past when his farmhouse, whatever, when the goblins took over and they just killed everybody and he was under the floorboard. So the one question I have is like, when he was a kid, he had like, I think it was like brown or reddish hair, but now he has gray hair. So I'm guessing his hair color changed from all the stress that he had to go through, or something like that, or whoever he trained under, because apparently he was talking to some rat looking ogre looking thing that taught him how to fight or whatever. But I don't know if that has something to do with his hair color or change or whatever. But anyways, he was in a bed with those two because apparently you need to have the healing of virgin priestesses. But the hero said hers wasn't as effective because 10 years prior she got raped by some goblins. So, but it still worked because he woke up and whatnot. But the only people that seen his face, I would assume, is those two priestesses. And then after that, he put on like his helmet and all his gear, and then the other people walked in, like the dwarf, the dragon guy, and the elf. And then he was like, okay, so now let's go eat, because apparently none of them ate because they said they're going to eat like a team, which I think is kind of weird. Like, you're starving yourself for somebody to wake up. What if they don't wake up? It's just like you pretty much starve yourself to death. So I guess that's all on that. But it just went. This episode just went around them like walking around shopping for new gear because they needed new gear and all of this from that fight that they just previously had. So they got it all retuned and everything, and they're gonna go back underground to finish what they started, because obviously it's not done. That place is like a horde of a bunch of goblins down there and whatever else is down there, because it's got to be something smarter that was teaching the goblins how to do what they was doing, because they say the goblins are not very smart, but they learn from their lessons, if that's a good way to put it. So pretty much, if they know something's wrong, like if they get hit with something, they know not to do that again, but they'll find a way to do it without getting hurt in the process. So I mean, that's smart on that aspect. But I mean, those are the two that I recently just watched and that I've kept up with. And I don't know what else is coming out for the rest of this week. I believe today's, so I know tomorrow should be Tuesday, and that's when Black Clover comes out. And I can't wait for that episode to come out, because obviously um I want to see like the conclusion of Fauna and Asta, and also with Mars, like if he's gonna come in at some point in time for that. But we'll see when that comes out tomorrow. But that is all for this video. This is Sanni saying sayonara.